All right, 10 o'clock, we'll call the meeting to order. Can we have a roll call, please?
Terry Thomas.
Present.
Matt Unruh.
Present.
Greg Camp.
Here.
Kevin Dennis.
Here.
Jim Caston.
Here.
Mark Johnson.
All right, we have a quorum. Would you all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic that stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 4 on the agenda is the minutes from the regular board meeting, January 21st. Those are pages 1 through 5 in your packet.
Motion to approve minutes as presented.
Second.
Roll call. Okay, we'll just by consent. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Opposed? Hearing none. There was okay. Kevin's dog voted in the negative there.
He wanted to vote. Here he
All
comes.
right. Item 5, approval of bills totaling, if you have the addendum, 271,036.04. Any questions?
Oh, Bark.
Otherwise, we would entertain a motion to pay the bills.
Motion to approve the bills as presented.
Roll call on that, please.
Terry Thomas.
Yes.
Matt Unruh.
Yes.
Greg Camp.
Aye.
Kevin Dennis.
Yes.
Jim Caston.
Yes, ma'am.
Mark Johnson.
All right. Item 6 is new business, the financial statements for the period ending 9/30/20. That is a draft copy. There's a staff report. There's also the bond covenant certification letter that was needed to be sent, obviously, for the ERA funding and the work we're doing with Gilmore, Bell, and Stiefel. Any questions on any of that?
Does anybody have any questions regarding my staff report?
Nope.
There has been a revised draft that I just received today. Mark Grimm with Gilmore and Bell had requested that the notes payable to the state on the reserve funds be taken out of the financial statements. So the draft that was previously sent has been revised to take that out of there because he didn't want to confuse the rating call.
Okay, very good. And just as an update for everyone, Jim and I participated on a call with the folks from Gilmore Bell, from Stiefel, the folks with Armstrong Teasdale who are providing representation to the Water Authority. And then basically where we're at is since we're waiting for that test well, essentially data to come back, we would have a lot more certainty presenting anything from a financial standpoint. Once we have that test well data back, basically show that we're going to get a good yield. Right now, that's 95% sure based on the modeling that the folks at Burns and Mac have done. But we wanted to make sure that we take any question marks off the table for possible financial for anyone that would be looking at the bonds. We wanted to make sure that we had a lot more certainty there. So we're going to pause the financial process, push off the bond call and things for about a month or so while Burns and Mac gets in on the Weber property and collects that test well data. I think once we have the test well data, then we can say, okay, the numbers all match up and we're in a much better place. But Jim or I, happy to answer any questions about that call. We were on for about 45 minutes or so. Okay.
I do need authorization for you to sign the bond certification letter.
Okay. I would entertain a motion to allow the president to sign the bond certification letter.
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none from Kevin's dog. Item 7, old business. It's the Revenue Bond Series 2021. This is the collector well update. Kind of just gave that to you. I'm sorry, I kind of jumped the shark there. I should have looked ahead. The timetable and the preliminary official statement in relation to that, that's where we're at in relation to how we're going. Again, pausing the financial process while we collect the test well data back from any of the work that Burns and McDonald does. Anyone have any questions on any of that?
Nope.
If not, do we need a signature on that POS? Michelle?
You already signed it.
Okay. Rock off. Okay, very good. All right. Navigating this electronically, excuse me. Okay. Item 8 are the resolutions. Resolution number 2021-18, Employee Assistance Program. Would someone like to introduce the resolution? So moved. And we would need a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No? All right. Will the clerk please read the resolution in its entirety by title only?
Resolution of the Jefferson County Water Authority, Festus, Missouri, authorizing the chairman to enter into and execute an agreement with Preferred Resource Network Incorporated, doing business as Personal Assistance Services from St. Louis, Missouri, for an employee assistance program. Incorporated said agreement as part of this resolution, prescribing the conditions thereto and establishing an effective date.
Any discussion? If not, I would entertain a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Motion to adopt.
Okay, there we go. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We need to do a roll call
Roll call
on
on
that.
that. All right.
Matt Unrein,
Yay.
Craig Camp,
Aye.
Kevin Dennis,
Yes.
Mark Johnson.
Yes.
Terry Thomas,
Yes.
Jim Caston.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Next up is Resolution 2021-19, Burns and McDowell Engineering Services. This is for the Scour Hole project. Would entertain a motion to introduce the resolution for first reading by title only.
I make that motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The clerk please read the resolution by title only.
A resolution of the Jefferson County Water Authority of Festus, Missouri, authorizes and acknowledges the chairman who executed an agreement with Burns and McDonald. Is that how I'm pronouncing it?
Yeah.
For emergency engineering services on November 25th, 2020. Incorporated said agreement as part of this resolution, prescribing the conditions thereto and establishing an effective date.
Any discussion? I know real quick, Jamie was telling us before the meeting, the Scour Hole, the filling of the Scour Hole is on pause right now due to the river levels. The barges can't navigate into the area where they need to be able to get.
Right. What had happened is, of course, with the inclement weather, as far as our below zero temperatures and stuff like that, their equipment isn't able to function properly. So they didn't do that. And then on top of it, you have the ice flows down at the river, which makes stabilization of their bud barge pretty hard to stay where they're at. So it's on pause for time being until all that clears out. We get a little bit warmer weather and there's not a bunch of ice buildup. In regards to that. Something else in regards to that area, we'll jump ahead of things a little bit as far as the collector well. I have gotten the coordinates and everything as far as where all the test drilling will go from Luca. I have a meeting this afternoon with our excavator to go ahead and start excavation of that area to clear out for the test drilling equipment. So we should be on that one pretty soon. Hopefully drilling will start sometime around in March from what they're proposing.
Okay. Any other questions on the Scour Hole project? And if there are not, then would take a motion to, and a second? And all those, I'm sorry, roll call, please.
Greg Camp,
Aye.
Terry Thomas,
Yes.
Jim Caston,
Yes, ma'am.
Matt Unrein,
Yes.
Kevin Dennis,
Yes.
Mark Johnson.
All right. Next up is Resolution 2021-20. This is the Burns and McDonnell Engineering Services. This is amendment number 1 for the Phase 2 services, which authorizes them to proceed with the test drilling on the Weber property. Any questions, comments? Oh, I'm sorry. We probably ought to go ahead and read it first. By title only, I'll accept a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Clerk, please read the bill.
A resolution of the Jefferson County Water Authority of Festus, Missouri, authorizing the chairman to execute Amendment Number 1 with Burns and McDonnell Incorporated for engineering services for the design builder owner agreement dated September 17, 2020, under Phase 2 services. Incorporated said agreement as part of this resolution, prescribing the conditions thereto and establishing an effective date.
We kind of covered it, but anyone have any questions? No. Chuck, yeah, go ahead and turn your mic on.
You mentioned earlier, is this property getting ready to sell? Do you have to get permission from a new owner on this property?
We're in contact with, what's Glenn's last name?
O'Brien.
Yeah, Glenn O'Brien, who's with Fred Weber. I think regardless of how that proceeds, if we need to talk to the next owner, we will.
Okay,
So, and then obviously the necessary easements we would need in order to do that. So,
very good. Thank you.
okay. Anything else? Would take a motion to adopt? And a second? All those in favor? I'm sorry, roll call, please.
Matt Unrein,
Yes.
Greg Camp,
Aye.
Kevin Dennis,
Yes.
Mark Johnson, Terry Thomas,
Yes.
Jim Caston.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Item 9 are the reports for information only. The trial balance, general ledger, cash activity, and the revenue expenditure report. Any questions on any of that? Hearing none. Jamie, anything you wanted to share from the plant manager report?
Not unless anyone has any questions for me. I think we pretty well covered our recent as far as what we are doing with the scour hole and the new collector well itself. But if anybody has any questions in regards to that, please let me know and I'll do my best.
I think it's fair to also just share that the plant has been struggling with the river levels. Water production has been occasionally spotty.
Yes.
But for the most part, running today.
Yes,
All right.
we were down for about a day and a half because of the river levels. So unfortunately, we were down for that period of time, but both cities were able to have their wells supplement during that period of time. But we are keeping a close watch on it and see what we've got. Hopefully some of this ice will melt and everything else, things will get better. Plus then we can get started on the scour hole. Once the gravel is on that next layer, then we will start flushing the collector well to see what we can do. Rip wrap, that's just to hold it in place, but most of the sand's pretty well done. Once the gravel comes in place, then we'll start flushing out lateral number 5 to see what we can do.
That's good news. Okay. Any questions for Jamie? If not, anyone from the board of directors? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very good. Motion adjourned. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, Greg.